as it should be, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Lopez.
Her Majesty is still capable of bearing children. Virgo intacta.
Thank you, Dr. Lopez. So, we may proceed with her marriage.
If we're to trust her doctor, if she were too old to bear children, my lord, there would be little sense in her marrying.
Do we only marry to bear children?
To contemplate the prospect of an heir, certainly.
Is there another reason we should not approach the Duke of Anjou?
Politics, religion, temperament, messenger. And of course, the Earl of Leicester.
Francis Walsingham, my Lord Burleigh, married men both and peddlers of the matrimonial state. You should wed each other since you think so highly of the condition. Certainly speed up the process of government.
The Earl of Leicester has the familiar touch.
If we are to make an alliance against Spain, Anjou would seem the obvious choice. Brother to the King of France, and giving us a Catholic ally. Where do you stand on the issue, Francis?
I think the French make better acquaintances than friends.
Tell Anjou we still need the Queen's permission to start negotiations.
Thank you, my lord.
Your Majesty,
What's the news, old friend?
that I am as I have always been.
Oh, well, am I changed then?
There is talk of...
Talk is free. And I would be so too. No, be not afraid. I will not marry.
So, we have each other still then?
We have each other always, Robin, since that way our affections tend. Who can tell the heart where it should lead us?
Our hearts cannot be told. Time has worn away the promises we made to each other once.
What promises, my lord?
To amuse each other? Your Majesty, I do not trust the Duke d'Anjou.
Because he's a Frenchman.
Because I do not trust him to love you as you should be loved. I'm afraid, Bess.
Of what?
Of the dangers in bearing a child. The danger to you. What is the world without you in it?
Oh, this is most flattering.
Ah.
Because you are jealous.
Oh, and why should I not be? Huh? Do I not live in the sun of your favor? And does not the world condemn me for it?
For 19 years, Your Majesty, this council has implored you to secure your succession by marriage. You have refused all suitors, but now...
Do not say I will not marry, Lord Burleigh. The question before us is whom?
Spain is the threat. Our only hope is to divide the Catholic powers, put Spain against France. A union with the ruling house of France would do precisely that. Anjou, as brother to the King of France...
Might I remind the council that although he may oppose the Spanish interests in the Netherlands, the Duke of Anjou is still a Catholic.
But he's of the quiet kind, my lord. Biddable, they say. He'll pray in a corner if you ask him. He was a friend to the Protestant cause in France. Why, he's even had private conversation with Master Walsingham, who eats Catholics.
What words have you in the presence chamber?
My parliament seeks words with us, and we must seem to listen. Francis. Since you, of all of us, has met this fellow Anjou, what of him?
His religion, madam, his politics, his sincerity or otherwise in his support of the Dutch Protestants.
His appearance, Master Secretary. Is he a man to my liking?
I could not say, Your Majesty.
Well, is he well-favoured or is he ugly? Is he a master at serving women?
He's Catholic. He only serves the Pope.
He was not ugly, madam. But, he was not beautiful.
Oh. Well, gentlemen, I've come to hear you talk, and I trust you will watch me while I listen.
Your Majesty, we beg to raise the question of your marriage.
Well, so long as you do not come to me to complain about your wives, I am content. So, Lester, here stands my master of music, who wrote this very piece for me. A Catholic, but an Englishman first. Thank you so much for the anthem. It's very subtle. Beautiful. You see, a man may be a good Catholic and a good Englishman.
Not at the same time, Mum.
Get him up.
Take him away.
Oh.
Mum, you're quite safe, Mum.
Oh,
I'm
Robin.
Quite safe, Mum.
Oh.
No hurt, Mum. No. No hurt. Clear the way. Clear the way.
Oh, God. Oh, how did he get in? Who is he? Oh.
And how does Your Majesty know?
The Queen does not know how she does, Lester. How she does or what she feels seems questions of little account. She sometimes wonders whether she's allowed the luxury of feeling anything. You know, that villain was as close as you are now to me.
No one could be as close as we do, Bess. You mustn't be alone tonight.
No.
No.
Nor shall I, my lord. Our prisons in the tower were as close as our 2 apartments are now.
Sweet imprisonment. In your sister Mary's reign, when I was in the tower, and looking to die every day. I remember the morning they brought you in through the Traitor's Gate. Over your shoes in water as you stepped off the barge.
I sat down on the stone steps and refused to move. My usher broke down and cried. I rated him severely.
Truth is what matters, not misfortune.
That's what I said.
And that none of your friends should ever have cause to weep for you.
No, nor shall they, Lester.
Something isn't still possible.
I cannot stay.
Is this a marriage to Anjou?
If I marry, I must marry royalty. I could not marry you. I could not raise up a subject so.
Just kiss me, Beth.
Good night, my lord.
That's enough. Who sent you to attack the Queen? The French? The Spanish? Pope and Rome? Good. You've something to say.
Good morning, Your Majesty.
For the safety of my person and my kingdom, I must proceed with this match.
Bess, I beg you.
I mean, who was this would-be assassin? In the pay of Spain? Well, how many more will they send?
And how much more secure will you be with Anjou? His interest is purely selfish in the Netherlands. Your people will...
Why, you have company. My Lady Essex has come to court.
Crave your pardon, ma'am. I'm here since the death of Lord Essex, upon your service in Ireland.
I have made an offer to assist the new Lord Essex.
We were sad to hear of it. Oh, so young to succeed to a title. We will kiss you. Oh, you look well, my Lady Essex. Perhaps you're in search of new offers of marriage. She has an eye for you, Lester. Oh, the portraits of your ancestors look well on your walls, my lord.
Yes.
Pity so many of them prove to be traitors.
No, only my grandfather and father, ma'am. The present generation is entirely devoid of treason.
We're pleased to hear of it.
She knows.
She knows nothing.
She knows. Those eyes of hers, marbled like a snake's. She knows. She has an eye for you, Lester.
She knows nothing.
The villain who attempted your life has been put to the rack.
And?
And it seems likely that the so-called Queen of Scots has solicited Spanish help against you with the blessing of the Pope.
Likely? It seems likely. This is our cousin, Master Walsingham. Is she not confined by us? Is she not under guard at our command? Do we have proof positive that she was involved in this attempt? Has a young man named her?
She long has been the focus of such conspiracies,
But
ma'am.
the active agent of such plots.
If the Spanish seek a Catholic for the throne of England, madam, then the royal Catholic cousin of the Queen of England would appear to be the obvious choice.
We did not ask to be lectured on our dangerous cousin Mary. If we are ever inclined to forget our dear, dear cousin, then the council can be relied upon to remind us. I'm set about by enemies, and I know not who to trust.
Well, not France, I beg you. Since I know you think I argue for myself...
Oh, you speak for your stomach sometimes.
Well, I'll talk self-interest. What do you imagine Monsieur will do with me after he has your hand? Shall I be Catholic? Huh? Shall we all be Catholic?
The Duke's religion is a private matter, Robin, as is yours. I will not make windows into men's souls.
Yet he will be your master.
Monsieur will be bound by strict conditions. Robin, the only things that will kiss in this affair will be lawyers' pens and lawyers' papers.
He has foul breath, they say, and a hump.
I think we must insist. Late payment.
Poor England stands alone, Robin. Well, gentlemen, if marriage it must be, then it must be.
Oh, gentlemen, why such long faces? Are we about a marriage, or is a funeral in prospect?
Oh.
Jean de Simier, chief heir to the Baron de Saint-Marc, and chief darling to the Duke of Anjou.
Is this what passes for trial in the French court?
Are you what passes for lack of it at the English one?
Touché.
I bring you jewels from the Duke's own self. He's in ecstasy at the thought of your beauty.
His representative does him little credit. A monkey. A most obvious monkey.
Personally, I've always found monkeys charming and amusing and intelligent.
Oh.
Ah, Master Davison.
Thank you, monsieur.
Soyez le bienvenu, monsieur, dans notre pauvre pays, si plein de protestants misérables.
Enchanté, madame.
Par ici, monsieur.
I'm sure Your Majesty appreciates that while the Duke is most sympathetic to your faith, it is simply not possible for my master to convert to the Protestant religion.
We would not ask it of the heir to the throne of France, monsieur.
I do not know you well, ma'am, but I knew you would never make a Catholic.
You do me great honor, monsieur.
My master, the Duke, is not one to make issue of his beliefs.
Then he and I are well suited. We understand the Duke seeks an annual income of,
£60,000, madam.
Which the council has rejected.
Are we to talk terms here, Robin? Do you think to drown my marriage prospects in no, maybe, perhaps?
No.
Reprenons notre conversation, monsieur. Marchons.
My master was so eager to see you. Je lui disais, mais monsieur, la reine attend.
Nous sommes nous-mêmes un peu anxieux, ce cher monsieur. So when will he arrive?
He is already on the boat, madame.
What?
We have come in disguise, Your Majesty.
Oh! You?
Oh, monsieur, of course, excuse me. No. Monsieur?
No.
No?
Madame, I wish to present His Highness François, Duke of Alençon and Anjou, brother of the most Christian king, Henry III, King of France.
We are most pleased to make you welcome, monsieur.
I cannot move, madame. I am dazzled by your beauty.
So, much hangs on the result of our conversation.
Oh, how every glance will be weighed and discussed. A man and a woman were never at less risk of being natural.
I am not even supposed to be here, Elizabeth. And yet, I have never felt more natural.
And I do. Both of us, I fancy, have spent so long in the glare of court gossip that privacy seems unnatural.
Mistress Vavasour? Lady Anne? Where is everybody? Where is Her Majesty?
We understand she is at Greenwich.
She spends much time there.
The air is good there.
What good air.
And why are you not with her?
That is indeed a very good question. My lord?
I think it may be that Simier's master has arrived.
Anjou? At Greenwich?
The Queen is ready to be wooed. Why should he not be here, my lord? Is it any concern of yours?
No, my concern, Lord Burleigh. I counsel out of love for her. This marriage will not go. Her heart will be broken. Not yours. Or his. Be the other one.
Personally, I never cared for the Dutch. I find them common. But you came to their aid.
They're a nation of shoemakers, ma'am. But I would rather have them than the Spanish.
Yeah.
And besides, they are Protestant. And I have this weakness for Protestants.
Doesn't extend to becoming a Protestant yourself.
My Catholic relations are far worse than yours. They keep trying to kill me. Mary, Queen of Scots.
Ah, your charming French cousin. When she was betrothed to my elder brother, Francis, who was to be King of France, it seemed most romantic. But of course, Mary was only 5. Pauvre petite. Elle était reine de France quand même.
Queen of France, then Queen of Scotland, and now she's nothing.
Park's deserted. Empty, the Frenchman.
The duller for it, then.
Why did you hide it from me, Bess?
not keep my counsel if I choose. Am I bound to you, sir? If you cannot read my silence, then you're nothing.
So, what manner of man is this Duke d'Anjou?
He's personable.
Oh.
We like him well.
So you'll help him retake the Netherlands?
Can you not wish me happy, Robin? Would my contentment be such a burden to you? I swear I did not think it would ever be granted me, but... Oh, these last few weeks,
I cannot lie to you, madam.
Oh, there's a new failing in you.
This marriage must not be. When we were young and fair and favour graced us, I sought you for my wife. But you spurned me. You said, go seek some other where. Importune me no more. And now...
And now? Now would you bid me hide a passion when passion's caught me? Me? Late fruit of the tree, a breath away from withering. I pray you do not work on your brothers in the council in this matter. That is my stern command.
I am not allowed to dance with her. Je comprends, mais je suis pas un familier. But is this still necessary? Am I to go out in a veil like a Saracen's wife?
Officially, monsieur, you are not here. Unfortunately, the Earl of Leicester is now the only Protestant de ce misérable pays.
Does the fellow not dance?
Court watches us too closely.
How many hours you and I
Have wasted dancing.
Don't say wasted, Bess. Each dance was worth a lifetime's wait. Don't marry him, Bess. He's a dull fellow.
C'est dommage. Elle est assez belle.
Does she love you still? That may change. Seems I'm carrying your child.
He is of the most royal house of France, and we graciously receive him here as suitor to our hand in marriage.
I am most glad to be welcome to the English court.
Louder. Louder, you dog! Is not this what you wanted? Is this gentleman not your liking? Must I consult you all before I find out whether he is to mine? Monsieur le Duc.
Why do we still waste so much time on this matter, gentlemen? The French clown should be sent packing.
My Lord of Leicester, may I remind you, we are but Her Majesty's counsel. We follow the Queen.
Her Majesty doesn't seriously contemplate.
May I suggest,
She is
Your
taken
Lordship?
with the Duke, sir. I say she is taken with him. And the security of our nation demands this match.
What security?
An alliance with France will protect us from Spain. The Catholic powers in Europe
are the natural enemies of England.
Anjou invaded the Netherlands as the protector of the Dutch Protestants.
Ah. Was he there?
My lord, I have doubts as to his sincerity.
I'm sorry?
Whatever his motives, he was thrashed by the Spanish general. The Duke of Parma destroyed him.
He may simply be using us to regain his lands in Holland.
Might it be the question of the security?
If we forge an alliance with France...
We will put our religion in the gravest of dangers.
France.
The Frenchman is not serious in his affections. Marriage to our queen is not something he desires, except insofar as it may further his ambitions. She's far older than him anyway, and I don't think
minded to box your ears, Leicester.
Your Majesty.
Do you think no one could be interested in our person? Are we so unattractive?
Your Majesty is old only in years.
Only? Only? Why, I could dash off the points of a dance on that table. I could be brisk or grave or gay. I could be as suave as a courtier. Or as sulky as a member of the Privy Council. The Queen is as young as the wives none of you deserve. I'm so sorry I would stay, but the Duke of Anjou craves my attendance at dinner.
I must ask you this. Are you minded to take me as a husband, in all seriousness?
You know that during your stay,
I am as anxious as you to avoid the tyrannies of too much certainty in religion. But I am a Catholic, and this is a Protestant people. I have not yet seen open hatred for me, but if it is not possible, I will understand.
I think you understand what it is I have begun to feel for you.
Indeed, I do, ma'am. Indeed, I do. But we are born to the same life, you and I, Elizabeth, in which even our gestures are not our own.
Does not a prince feel? Does he not have hands, eyes, a tongue, and a disposition to be loved?
He does, ma'am. And if you do, shall we not dare to risk the displeasure of others?
I've asked the Earl of Leicester not to approach Your Majesty, but...
Your Majesty, Your Grace, forgive me. I had no idea you were here. But I have some papers which I felt Her Majesty should see.
Instructions in the art of courtship, perhaps.
Who wrote this?
There is no name, ma'am. I felt you should see it since...
What exactly have they written?
Advancing in years as she is, our queen has no need to tie herself to an odd fellow, a Frenchman by birth, by profession a papist, and an atheist in conversation, an instrument in France of unclean. This is a most serious insult to our royal guest and ally. We shall return to Whitehall and we will have the author of this vile rubbish found and punished. You have my word for it, monsieur. We shall proceed with this marriage. We would have the papers prepared. What profit did you think to gain by this, my lord?
I did but...
Bring me news I did not wish to hear. Men have been hanged for less. We will proceed. This is agreeable?
It is why I am here, madame.
Find me the man who wrote this.
Yes, ma'am.
This fellow Stubbs is the one who wrote the pamphlet. He's a dog, and I keep my dogs tethered.
He seems quite respectable.
The crowd are silent. English do not like public torture.
Usually their preferred way of passing an afternoon.
I did what I did for love of Her Majesty. As an Englishman, I love her beyond all else. And if I dared speak against the French marriage, it was only to show the love we all hold for her person.
Perhaps they would enjoy it more if it was the French hand being chopped off.
God save the Queen! I have here the hand of a true Englishman who loves his queen and his country.
He loves me enough to insult me like so many men.
Would it appear that the people have little stomach for this marriage?
And the Queen has little stomach for the people.
As we talk of marriage, how is your wife, my lord? Is she well?
Your wife, Robin?
I understood that you and Lady Essex are married and that she carries your child.
Oh, you son of a whore.
Your Majesty, you must know that...
Know what, my lord?
that I would never have taken a wife if there were but a chance you would smile upon my suit.
I never wish to see your face again.
My heart still runs on you, I swear it.
Be off before I hang you. I'm minded to hang you now. With my own hands, too.
Yes.
Get out of my sight! We forbid you access to our presence. You are no longer welcome at our court. Be gone, sir. Now. Inclination as to the French marriage?
Your Majesty, your subjects seek only your happiness, and if it is what you seek, all we would urge you is that if the voice of the people...
You all know my mind. Could there be any more security for my reign and my realm than that I should marry and have a child and continue the line of my father, King Henry VIII? Have I not been told by you and you and you that I should do as other women do and get me an heir?
Yes, but the people.
Do you imagine I do not want a child? Do you imagine I do not have the desire to hold a babe in mine arms? Am I so unnatural to you by virtue of my exalted position? Now I have at last found a man that is both royal and to my liking. May I not? Am I made of stone, gentlemen?
And so, farewell. Some princes do not deserve their subjects. It is the opposite case with you, madam. The courtier and the scholar and the poet and the woman of great beauty.
It is the last compliment I should treasure, my lord. You know well what it is that separates us. It is a public practice of the Roman religion, sticks in their hearts. There is no prince in the world to whom I would rather be bound, or with whom I would rather spend the days of my life. And dare not show my discontent. I love, and yet am forced to seem to hate. I do yet dare not say I ever meant. I seem stark mute, yet inwardly do prate. I am and am not. I freeze, yet am burned. Since from myself, another self I turn. My care is like my shadow in the sun. Follows me flying, flies when I pursue it. Stands and lies by me, does what I have done. Or let me live with some more sweet content, or die, and so forget what love e'er meant. Well, England, the Queen is all yours. Good people, but she is glad to be again home.
She should be kept from the people.
Should she be? Has she not needed their love? I mean, with Leicester gone, what?
Not half as glad, it may be said, as the Lord to entertain her, since they are relieved of the expense of her entertainments.
Must be told. But when and which of us should tell her?
I'll tell her straight, my lord. I've the right face for bad news.
If the people feast at the expense of the nobility, then there's hope for England yet, eh?
Your Majesty.
Sir Francis.
News from Rome, madam.
No good news, then.
His Holiness declares you a heretic, excommunicates you, and says that for all good Catholics, killing you would be no murder. Make way.
Make way, I say. Let Her Majesty pass.
Away from
I supposed to return the compliment and slaughter them where I find them?
It means His Holiness intends to put a Catholic upon the English throne.
You'll have to push me off it first.
Well, there are those who would help him, madam.
Philip of Spain was ever anxious to do the Pope's bidding.
He does not lace his shoes without a papal dispensation. So we may expect him, gentlemen.
Or he may work through loyal friends closer to home. Your cousin Mary...
And you would have me act. Strike, strike, and strike again, eh, Francis? When the occasion calls for it, Francis, I will strike.
My lord, you may remember this gentleman. He made the attempt on Her Majesty's life. He's a Catholic, and he's known to those who know the so-called Scottish Queen. He will now help us lead that devilish, corrupt, scheming woman to betray herself in a way that Her Majesty will not be able to ignore.
So, you will reveal to us the conspiracies in the mind of this evil woman.
What if Her Majesty Queen Mary has no thoughts of conspiracy in her head?
She will have them.
I'm lately come from the presence. I was within a sword's length of her on 2 occasions.
Sir Anthony, speak lower, I beseech you.
Well, Father Ballard, would not half this place applaud our design? To kill Elizabeth will be no murder. We will...
What we will is not yet decided, Sir Anthony. As I take it, you seek to approach the Queen of Scotland. Mary, the rightful Queen of England, should I say so?
Seems you know everything. And you also know I now have the Pope's authority.
And there are plans for the Spanish king to invade England on Queen Mary's behalf.
When the occasion is right.
Now is the occasion. So I have gathered about me a group of Catholic gentlemen who have sworn to free Mary and take Queen Elizabeth's life. Now, we will slay her. And then, when the King of Spain invades, we will place her cousin Mary of Scots on the English throne. Master Gifford, as you will approach our Spanish friends.
Yes. I will let them know of your design. Good day, Babington.
The Duke of Anjou is dead, Your Majesty.
Well, we are sorry to hear of it.
And so it seems the French have made their peace with Spain.
King Philip has sent the Duke of Parma against the Dutch. His plan will be to finish them, then move against England.
To which end King Philip builds an armada, a fleet, is the largest ever seen.
Is there any good news? Feel the knife at my neck once more.
Our intelligences have revealed a new conspiracy here in England. Sir Anthony Babington.
Babington?
He may have ties not only with the Spanish, but also with...
Your cousin, Mary, so-called Queen of Scots. All I require, madam, is the evidence.
These are hard times. And no one to talk to, no one in whom I can confide. We have recalled the Earl of Leicester. Oh, gentlemen, these long faces you put on. Is it any wonder I crave amusement? I have sent for the Earl of Leicester, and he will come to court, no matter how long your faces grow. Faster, Thomas! Tell me the difference between love and friendship.
There is none.
How do you reckon that, my lord?
Well, we are here walking arm in arm. My marriage was forced on me, Bess. Since I could not marry you. But what I felt for you then, I still feel.
And the case is not altered with me, my lord.
I married to have an heir, Bess. And we had but one child. A son. He was but 7 years old when God took him from us. Even this year.
Oh, Robin. What is it the world does to us?
I have his things still. His clothes. His little suit of armor. I can't seem to... Forgive me, Your Majesty.
Well, Brother Leicester, you must continue to be my eyes, for you see things so clearly. Here, too, children is all, for I have none, and therefore no successor, and the vultures gather.
Mary of Scots. Or Marie of France, or Marie of whoever will have her.
If I kill my cousin Mary, then the Spanish will declare war. If I leave her alive...
She will be obliged to kill you, to save her soul and free her body.
So says Francis Walsingham. He sifts the evidence and draws the trap ever tighter round her. Her own son has betrayed her.
How so?
King James VI of Scotland is now a pensioner of the English crown. England pays the wages of the King of Scotland.
Oh, that's your formula.
Scottish Queen is little pleased by it.
Oh, I miss court intrigues. I did hear you were planning to help the Dutch with military aid against the Spanish. You know, I've longed to serve you. The Netherlands.
No, you're not to go, Robin. I've not had you with me these 7 years. I need you here by my side, alive, if possible. Years ago, there was a plan that Mary and I should meet. It was years and years ago. It came to nothing.
And you wish to revive it?
If I were to visit her, it would have to be in secret, for all at court would argue against it. But it could be done, I imagine. All these conspiracies have her at the center. Why should I not reason with her, my lord? If I cannot dissuade her from the courses she is on, what else can I do but seek her death, upon which the whole world will break about my ears? It is not too late to turn her. Oh, tell me that is true, for I would have it so.
Bess, you have the great weakness of the clear-minded. You believe that other people think like you. What? I will arrange it.
So, this is her prison.
Stand down the guard, my lord.
Where is she?
Follow me.
I heard she's grown fat. Well, she's had little else to do but eat and sleep.
And plot, Your Majesty.
Let us hope sweet reason will reason her from her unreason. Since we both know, my lord, that the other way will lead my sister to her death, and on the other side of that lies war with Spain, for which poor England is ill prepared.
You were not announced.
I'm not here.
Why do you come? Is it curiosity? To witness my confinement? To see what you have brought me to? As you see, I am not well. Perhaps this pleases you.
Was it I who brought you to this, Mary?
Who else?
I'm more your friend than you imagine. I am the only thing that stands between you and destruction.
Royalty stands with itself, madame. Who else will stand with us or for us?
We serve the people, Mary.
I am a little bored with the people. I think it is time we stand out for a different set of subjects. But this is what my dog thinks.
Possibly. I am come to warn you.
Of what?
There are those on my council who would have you dead. They say you conspire against my life.
Your Majesty knows I have never...
Sir Francis Walsingham gathers evidence.
Of what?
And if I am given proof, I will have no choice but to take the sin of your death. The death of a God-anointed queen upon my head.
No, you would not dare.
I would have no choice.
There will be war. Cousin, on my death. A war of Spain and France against this little...
Vile country, nest of Lutheran chickens.
I do not choose to stay here.
Well, who would have you? Scotland? Or your oh so grateful son?
You are hard, madame.
It's the business of living that has made me so. Oh, you cast a cold eye upon me, cousin. We're both prisoners of the time, you and I.
Both prisoners? Then shall we two walk free together?
I say again, I'm come to war. No, I'm come to counsel you. I am come to implore you. I am come to beg you not to persist in your treason.
I swear to you, cousin, that I have no intent against you. That all I seek is liberty.
I pray to God the death of one of us is not the only way to buy the freedom of the other. We shall see.
No one that's less dancer. At last, I'm able to fight your cause.
The Dutch. What in God's name do we have in common with the Dutch?
Our religion, ma'am.
The Dutch have no religion, they have cheese.
If we do not contain the Duke of Parma and his Spanish army, he'll be knocking at our door by the end of the year. I can't tell you how I appreciate this command and how I value your trust in me.
You're a fireside general, Robin. I would have you by my side.
Yes.
My cousin Mary plots against my life and you leave me.
Ah, the Earl of Essex, my stepson, ma'am. I've given him a command.
Not Lady Essex's son.
Yes, ma'am. He fights alongside me.
He's grown into a pretty youth.
Your Majesty. I see a world in your eyes. They outshine the stars.
You return an excellent compliment for one so young, my lord. If I may return it, it is rare to find such beauty, gifted with the power of self-expression.
Come along, sir.
Oh, well, off you go. And don't the pair of you look valiant indeed?
Oh, well, my best.
Come back safely. The Dutch. Heaven help us. You have news? From Holland? The Earl of Leicester is safe.
Madam, we have intercepted a coded letter from the so-called Queen of Scots to Sir Anthony Babington. Copy of the original. And here, the transcript.
The affair being thus prepared and forces in readiness, both within and without the realm, then will it be time to set the 6 gentlemen to work on the Queen's murder. She gave me her word.
Proof positive she conspires against you, madam.
How came you by these letters? Do we have someone of ours in her confidence? And if so, is this his scheme or hers?
These gentlemen approached her, Your Majesty, and she has countenanced their scheme and given it her encouragement. This is plain evidence she seeks your death.
As you do wish for hers, Sir Francis. You've already marked it with the gallows, or did Queen Mary make that mark herself?
There is no lie or counterfeit laid here before you, madam. And though it called down the wrath of Spain upon us, I say she should be dealt with.
I will not move precipitately, sir. Spanish built ships these last years, and we have none to put against them. I will not move too soon. I will write to the Earl of Leicester.
Whatever the Earl's view, madam, we must advise you that...
I'm a subject to plots and conspiracies, and all I have to defend me is you, and Sad old Lord Burleigh. I want Leicester, bring him home.
The army, madam, hath need of their general.
So, your spy. Our spy. Who is he, Walsingham?
The young man who once tried to kill you, madam. We turned him. I've done what I've done for your safety, madam. Mary of Scotland is a traitor.
So. Do you think because I'm slow to make war that I'm merciful? You think women are kinder than a man, are more gentle? I'll tell you, gentlemen, we women have forgotten more about cruelty than you could ever remember. What we do not like is lies. Why should I not hang you as well as the fellow Catholics you've duped? And I tell you, sir, we'll hang them not a whit before we cut them open for a traitor's death. Shadows. And shadows of shadows. Being alive is punishment enough for this creature. For the others, kill them as I have said. I want them alive when you cut out their heart, their bowels! I mourn more for the death of one good and faithful man than I do for 20 traitors! And now, with those I love across the seas, risking their lives for my life, I tell you I would hang those conspirators myself! Oh, I'm made of cruel passions, my lord. And when the time is right, we'll so act on them as to astonish the world. I have love and compassion, too. And as I can punish, so can I yearn. For those who are true and faithful and who love me according to my true deserts as their queen.
Queen Mary must be brought to trial.
To try an anointed sovereign, sir, is no light matter.
The Earl of Leicester would be in favour of a trial, madam.
Oh, really? What shall we ask him? My lord, how goes it in Holland? We seek your opinion on an urgent matter.
Madam, we must proceed.
Oh, how busily my subjects set about to see a queen laid low. Well, let it be done, then. Let it be done. But I would have it done with an eye to the justice of the thing. All Europe watches us, my lords, and waits to see how we will serve my perjured Catholic cousin.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. I am an anointed queen, and not subject to the ordinary laws of England.
Madam, in England, a free prince offending is subject to our laws.
Would you prefer to be tried in your absence, lady?
I am no subject, sir, and would die 1,000 deaths rather than acknowledge myself to be one. But go to it. For I see you are all determined.
This letter to Sir Anthony Babington
is forged. I would not dare make shipwreck of my soul by compassing the death of my dear sister.
Dear indeed. Yet we have proof positive this is your hand and given out by you.
So she is judged guilty.
By fair trial, madam. And both Lords and Commons humbly petition your Majesty that you may pass sentence of death upon her.
Oh, this goes hard with me. What will my enemies not say that for the safety of her own life, a maiden queen could be content to spill the blood even of her own kinswoman? I may therefore well complain that any man might think me given to cruelty wherever I am so guiltless and so innocent. Nay, I am so far from it that for mine own life I would not touch her. I pray you accept my thankfulness, excuse my doubtfulness, and take in good part my answer less.
Madam, this business must be settled. Both Lords and Commons must needs have it so.
They are most passionate in this wish, Mum.
I will not sign the warrant. I cannot if you lay it before me every day for a whole year. I tell you I will not sign it. We will remove to our palace at Richmond.
Richmond. Vacillation, vacillation, vacillation.
Is it really him?
I think it is, Your Majesty.
On whose side is he in this matter of the Queen of Scotland?
I imagine he's on the side of the Earl of Leicester.
I have failed you, Bess. Things did not go well for us.
What did I tell you?
You said I was a fireside general.
And was I right?
You're always right, Bess. The Spanish have a clever general in the Duke of Parma. Now that the states of Holland are theirs, I fear they may think the time is right to attack.
You're not well. You're tired.
Am I? I am in the best of health, Mother. How could I be otherwise when I'm looking at you?
Well, Lester, I have need of you.
In what way, Mum?
Our cousin Mary, of course. Both Lords and Commons set about me with petitions for her death. It is not possible for me.
Bess, I cannot lie to you. The Scottish Queen
There is her death warrant, and all it requires is my signature, Master Davidson. Suffer or strike. Is that not the message sent to me by the council? Even Leicester betrays me. Her son suggests I grant him the succession to take away the sting of killing the woman who bore him. Now there's a son who loves his mother, eh? This is a person of royal blood. This is our father's sister's child. Do you understand what that means, Davison? This is our cousin. Oh, what a pretty thing the family is. How it breeds love and tenderness in the child. How it trains us in sweetness and honesty and affection. Yeah, easily done. She is to be beheaded at Fotheringay. This is the last I wish to hear of it. As to the manner of her death, she is to be accorded the privileges of someone of royal blood. I do not wish to hear of it, but someone is to give me an account of it when it is done. Wait! Do not give that to the council until I say. As for now, it is as if I never signed it. Do you understand? Now leave me.
Why did Her Majesty ask a man of no great experience to bring this document to her for signature, and then...
She chose him deliberately, my lords.
She wants the woman dead, but she cannot bear to give the order. This was ever her way. Sideways, sideways, sideways.
The Earl of Leicester is right. We must all put our hand to this order of execution, or else I tell you, gentlemen, we will all hang. You and I have had our quarrels, my lord, but may I say, we have need of wise politicians at court.
Now, who will witness the execution? And tell her the deed is done.
I will do it myself.
Ne pleure pas pour moi. Tu as promis, Jane.
Pardon me, ma'am.
I hope that you shall bring an end to all my troubles.
The color of the Catholic martyr.
In nomine Patris, Filii, et Spiritus.
Lord, have mercy on this sinner. We pray, according to the Reformed Prayer Book, that thou, Lord, gives help
In
to the
manos
helpless.
tuas, Domine, confide animum meum.
Lord,
In manos tuas.
stay within us. In the name of the
Confide
Father, the Son,
anima
and the Holy
mea.
Ghost.
I shed my blood for the
Amen.
ancient Catholic religion.
God save the Queen! God save the Queen!
How can I ever tell the Queen of this? How can I tell her and keep her love? Ah, also. There are many things. It is done. Would you tell her? Forgive me.
Oh, Sir Francis, I did not see you there. Oh, no.
Please, don't stop now.
Oh. What's that? Someone married?
I think someone has died, Your Majesty.
Who has died?
A very great traitor, madam. Mary of Scotland.
Who ordered this?
I rather think you did, Majesty.
Dead by my orders. Oh, my. Jameson! Oh, you! No! Lester! Where is the Earl of Leicester? Get me Leicester! Leicester!
Your Majesty.
Why could you not have stopped this? I'll hang Davison, you hear me? And you too, if you show your face near me. Take him away! Take him away! Oh, my God! Oh, God, forgive me! Oh, God!
Sirs, stand aside.
Thou hast set me on high. If I swell against thee, pluck me down in my conceit. Though I have taken a life, the life of an anointed queen. Oh, God, forgive me. God, forgive me. God, forgive me.
You're angry with me, madam.
You, of all people, should fail to understand the case in which I stood. That went hard with him, my lord.
I saw her die.
How did she die?
In truth, there are things there that are done not as they should have been done. She was denied her rosary, and they denied her her priest. This will not be in the report the council gives you, but there were 2 strokes of the axe.
No, enough.
I tell you the truth as I saw it.
Yes. Yes, you do. I know you do. If I'd heard that from another's lips. But you were right to say it. I must remember who I am and learn humility. Before God, what are the stumblings and offenses of my life? What is there between you and I? What's the crown when love's voice speaks to us? None of the others would have dared do what you have done.
No.
We must not. Robin, we cannot. There will be war. Philip of Spain will move to avenge her. We must be strong, both of us. And since friendship outlasts love and is stronger than love, let us be friends. Always.
Always.
Will I be able to fight, my lord?
I fear we shall all have to fight, sir.
Will I be able to meet Her Majesty again?
That, sir, is why I brought you here.
Wait for the Earl.
I fear there are more important matters at court today. Sir, make way, sir. Ah, the Spanish ambassador, Don Bernardino. Since our peace emissaries have been withdrawn from Spain, I see you're leaving us.
I have said farewell to your heretic queen, the murder of her sister Mary. When our fleet lands, she will burn with all the other heretics, and we will have a new queen in England.
Yourself, perhaps?
You will apologize for speaking of the queen in that fashion.
Sir! Calm, sir. Now, remember this. Her favor changes with her moods. She is a woman, but if you love her, and I say this to you as a father, love her constancy. For it is there.
My lord.
Lady Anne. Your Majesty, you asked to see the Earl of Essex.
Oh, we have need of young men like the Earl of Essex.
How so, ma?
Because you are so...
Elegant.
Clumsy. Make that bow again. There, you see, Lester, he never bows the same way twice. Now, that is a mark of true sincerity.
Could have bent my mind to a more retired course, ma'am, and stayed in the country. The country is very pretty, but I do not like to be dead.
Well, you'll have to learn more of the ways of court, sir. Now, your stepfather and I must talk of graver matters.
So the Spanish fleet has assembled?
Their ships are said to number more than 100.
Father.
Robert.
The last hope for peace is gone. The negotiations were...
Well, at least I have you at home. Perhaps it's for the best. We will throw them back from whence they came.
So the Earl of Leicester will be in charge of the land forces. We'll set our army at Tilbury, where the Duke of Parma is like to land. We have precious few trained men to put against him. Let's hope you do better against him there than you did in Holland, Robin.
Thank you, Mum.
Francis?
Their vessels are too heavy in the water. We will dog them from the Lizard and we will destroy them before they get to Calais. And when I do, ma'am, I swear they will wish themselves back at Lisbon kissing pictures of the Pope's foot.
It has been suggested that Her Majesty be removed to a place of safety.
You may hide in a hole in the ground if you so wish, Lord Burleigh. I intend to be there to meet them if they come.
100 ships.
What shall I say to those who are prepared to fight and die on my behalf?
Your Majesty will give them courage. And breathe scorn on the invader.
Scorn. The only words I have for them are love for them. And this their sacrifice. Unwarlike woman that I am.
Will that really be so? Good morning, my lord. I could swear Your Majesty had the heart and stomach of a king.
Robin, you're not well.
Excuse me, Your Majesty. All is well. I pray you. Bring him over.
You lead me like a groom, my lord, to let England know you have no designs to be my equal.
Ah. From where will Your Majesty speak?
Why, from my heart, of course. How long have you been in the army, good man?
1 month, Your Majesty.
Well, I'll wager you're a very terror with that fork.
God save the Queen! God save the Queen! God save the Queen!
Armies are not made by their equipment, my lord. Why have you persuaded me to wear this?
Suits you very well, ma'am.
I am among my people who love me, and among whom I am proud to die if I have to. My loving people. My loving people. We have been persuaded by some that are careful of our safety to take care how we walk among armed multitudes. But I assure you, I do not desire to live to distrust my faithful and loving people. Let tyrants fear. I have always so behaved myself that under God I have placed my chiefest strength and safeguard in the loyal hearts and goodwill of all my subjects. I am come among you, as you see, at this time, not for my disport or recreation, but resolved in the midst and the heat of the battle to live or die among you all, to lay down for my God, for my kingdom, and for my people, my honor and my blood. Even in the dust. I heart of a weak and feeble woman. But I have the heart and stomach of a king. And of a king of England, And I think it's foul scorn that Parma or Spain or any prince of Europe dare invade the borders of my realm.
I'd be much happier if Your Majesty returned to London. The Spanish fleet is in the Channel. We've had reports that Parma may cross tonight, which may mean that Drake...
Drake? Drake, there's a wind behind him, Robin. He'll set his ships among them and they'll rue the day they ever came to England. You're not well. This is taking its toll of you. You should rest.
Oh, I'm...
Reports of a ship, Your Majesty.
Where?
Coming up the river.
Come, sir.
One of ours or one of theirs?
One of ours, Your Majesty. The news was good. They were to put out flags, both white and black. Your colors.
Well, have they?
Not yet.
Well...
The day is ours, Mom.
My lord! Majesty!
Robin! See to the Earl! Robin!
My lord!
Hard-won victory. Robin!
I want to talk to you about my stepson.
The young Earl of Essex?
Although I'm not his natural father.
There are those who say that you are.
Oh, Bess.
Lechery doesn't interest me, Robin. Love, on the other hand.
Is that what it is between us?
Oh, yes. And it is very proper.
Well, I am glad to hear you say it is love. Was and is. There are those who say I was of the calculating kind. What I felt for you, I could not help. Sometimes it did not help my cause at all. But truth be told, constant as the heavens. When I lost my way, it guided me. As stars do sailors. No, I beg you, do not weep.
You spoke of your son?
Of Essex. He is all the son I have. I bade him hither. May he approach.
Sir? Sir, your father needs you.
Take care of her, young man. She needs looking after. He's so strong for so many people. It's not easy. And I will not be there.
My love. You will be with me always, Robin.
I am for the dark paths. My life is done. Be you careful of each other.
I stand here before you among the captured banners of our enemies. And yet, in victory, I say we still shall humble ourselves before our God and our people. We are mindful that we have lost a personage who was most dear to us. One who should stand here with us today. And as we commend his soul to heaven, we turn ourselves to our only solace, which is the people of this our England. And let them know they may have yet a greater prince, but they shall never have a more loving one. have no need of that. The look on your face tells the Queen all she needs to know about hers. The looking glass is banished from our palace, that one. And those. And that one, and that one. All gone.
The succession day is the 30th since you came to the throne. Your knights will fight each other for your favor.
Perhaps he will follow this by disappearing.
30 years a queen. 26 since she became one. That means she's
astonishingly young.
Although not as astonishingly young as the Earl of Essex, Father.
He's a rising star, gentlemen. You must learn to live with him.
What precisely are his talents? I never can remember.
I hear he has very expressive eyes.
After his father died, I was happy to have him in my care, but I could not say I know him.
Of the Grange, beg you to desist from being the champion of our glorious Queen.
I love the Queen more than you ever will, young man. Stand aside, for I am Sir Greatheart, the sweetest knight in all chivalry.
Sir Walter Raleigh's knightly character is obviously not based upon his own. Walsingham's daughter seems quite an admirer of the Earl.
Today, it is water that wears our favor. My favor, Sir Walter. Huh?
Your Majesty.
I see every fool must have a favor.
I'll call on you, sir, for your apology. Shall I?
No. Dogs must have blood somehow, my lord. Lady Frances Walsingham is wearing a very pretty dress. One would think Sir Francis's daughter wishes to be the centre of attention. The court of Lady Frances Walsingham, we could compose anthems in her honour.
Your Majesty.
Come, ladies, we are going to watch the Earl of Essex at his favourite pastime, which is trying to kill people. And Francis, you will walk with me.
Yes, Essex, that's it.
You look pale, Francis.
Good carry.
Anything the matter? Who do you favour, Sir Walter or Essex? Guard up! Do you approve of duelling, Francis?
It is
forbidden, as are so many other things.
Yes.
Well done, sir! Well done! Pull his great heart down.
Do not come out on my side, Mum.
No, no, no. You must be checked. Men like you must be ruled. As was the Earl of Leicester in the end.
I am always your servant, Mum.
Yes, I do believe you are. Oh, but you're wounded. Oh, I must dress your wounds myself. Come.
If I've offended your Majesty,
I ever loved a loser. Water. Which dressing, Francis? Go on, run, girl.
We are going to the Earl of Leicester's apartments, Mum.
Yes, they're yours now. You like my present? You like his rooms?
Very much.
Yes. The Earl of Leicester had excellent taste. They're expensively furnished. You like expensive things, and you have nothing but debts. Well, go on. They're yours now.
Everything I have is yours.
Well, let us pretend that it is yours. It will spice up the act of crossing the threshold. Oh, you're looking at my ankle, Essex.
Well, your Majesty has a very well-shaped ankle. And a perfect figure.
Yes, well, I have a grateful nation gnawing at my insides. Anne? Sit, we must bind up your wounds. We have no need of you, Dr. Lopez. Oh, you look like a naughty schoolboy. Why should you not like that foolish girl? I can see that you like her.
No, she's
Nothing compared to me. I know.
Oh, you're very kind.
kind, Mom.
I could be even kinder.
Your Majesty knows that my love for you
Is not simply a need for my favor. How do I know that? Possibly. You seem sincere enough. Great things hang on a kiss, Robin, when princes are involved. But you better kiss me again. Well, let us hear of your proposed expedition.
It is not precisely our proposed expedition, Your Majesty.
Lord Burleigh, do not distance yourself from my displeasure until you know that I'm displeased. Maybe a very good proposition for all I know.
Francis.
Portugal is occupied by Spain. Their exiled king, Don Antonio, is therefore on our side against the Spanish. Our thought was that before the Spanish recover from the loss of the Armada, we
should attempt to reinstate our friend Don Antonio on the throne of Portugal.
Precisely.
Send a military expedition? Maybe a sound notion. If we succeeded, Portugal would be ours, and we would control the Spanish trade routes to the Americas.
Oh. Your Majesty is able to read the minds of her advisors.
That's not so difficult, especially since you spent all of your time trying to read mine. You have my approval. Do not inform the Earl of Essex. If he hears of it, tell him he is under no circumstances to go. What's it going to be? 6 again!
I swear you're playing with loaded dice.
Princes do not cheat at cards. They simply have the rules altered to suit their needs. Oh, you lose too much, and you with so little to lose. We'll play a new game.
Which is?
Essex's Folly. I take all the cards, and you have to take them off me.
How?
By force, if necessary. But not too much force for you to win would be treason.
There's no fun in such a game.
Well, we'll not play it then. Stand there. There, like that.
Madam. I know the hour is early, but if Your Majesty pleases, we have need of conversation. Private conversation. Affairs of state.
You wait for Her Majesty?
I wait for my father, my lord. I hope he pleads my case with the Queen.
I cannot believe you've offended her, Sir Robert. You were always such a good boy.
I was obliged to be, my lord, by my position.
Answer me this. When I was your father's ward and we were growing up together in Lord Bertie's house, was I...
What, my lord?
Oh, it's no matter.
He wishes me to have a seat on the council.
Well. We grow great.
I have worked for it, my lord.
Yes, you have.
Well, Robert, you have no place.
What it must be to have a father.
Yes. Yeah, we were there. Thank you.
Happy were he could finish forth his fate in some unhaunted desert, where obscure from all society, from love and hate of worldly folk. Then might he sleep secure, then wake again and ever give God praise.
What? How can I read when you look at me like that?
How do I look at you?
As if you were deciding whether or not to eat me.
What do you wish for me?
For you to be mistress of what you wish most.
Why then you wish for my happiness? And to gain that, I would have to set aside my kingdom. That being done, who would have me?
I would, Beth. I would. You never say what it is you feel for me.
You know what it is I feel.
Do I?
How do I know what you truly feel, even though you never stop saying it?
I love you.
There, you said it again. Does that make it true?
There is an expedition to Lisbon.
What expedition is that?
Or is there more than one?
You should not even been told of it. I gave strict orders. Robin, you're forbidden to go.
Mum, I have no money. I have to go. I'm so far in debt, my estates will be sold to pay them off. You promised me much.
Well, you shall have what you need when the time comes.
I could profit by the Lisbon expedition, Bess. There are Spanish ships there piled high with Spanish gold. Do you want a spoiled boy by your side, or would you not have me prove myself a proper man?
Just be patient. There's a tax on sweet wines. I told you, Robin, you're forbidden to go. Let's stop our mouths. No more talk. You drink too much.
Sweet wine. You're so kind to me.
Sleep, lie there. Lie there till morning. Sleep.
What I must not say is that I love you. The more I let you go, the more I seem to have need of you. And it will not go away no matter how much I command it. Do you think the Queen is mistress of her feelings? No, she's a fool for love. Hopeless fool. No. Lisbon? Francis? Anne? Where is he?
Who, Mum?
Essex, you stupid, stupid girl! Where is he gone? How could you let this happen?
We saw nothing, Mum.
Call the master groom. Tell him to get to the stables. On no account is the Earl of Essex to be allowed to ride out. Hurry! Or I'll hang the pair of you!
Madam, French ambassador.
Can wait.
Oh, what shall I tell him, ma'am?
Tell him the Queen is looking for the Earl of Essex.
Madam, it's too late. The Earl of Essex has already left. He rode for Falmouth overnight. He's on his way to Lisbon.
On his way? Did you say his way?
Madam, had we known, we would...
Would have? I can't have what you would have done. You traitorous dog! I'll send you all to the gallows! You let him get Oh. Wearisome condition of princes. Laid bare for all the world to see. One word of this and you die. You hear me? Well, there's work to be done.
Wading ashore in his armor, the Earl was the first to engage the enemy. Indeed, he rode unaided to the gates of Lisbon, where he drove his pike into the wood and challenged anyone who doubted your wisdom and beauty to a duel.
Well, did anyone emerge to take up the challenge?
I imagine not, Your Majesty.
No, even a conversation with the Earl of Essex can be an alarming business.
It was not all in all, Your Majesty, though the Earl's behavior must be applauded. A profitable enterprise. Little of substance was achieved. Lisbon was not taken.
Indeed. But he's apologized for his disobedience, and he promises me he'll be home within the month. We've forgiven him. He is dear to us. And brave, it seems.
Brave indeed to have defied your majesty so obviously.
Brave young men are to be encouraged, pygmy.
Welcome to the council, my boy. public day, Your Majesty.
Is it ever permitted for a subject to hurl themselves into the Queen's arms?
In private, it is sometimes actively encouraged.
Then I'm forgiven.
When you are in my presence, all is forgiven. Eyes on me, Robin. Eyes on me. And Francis, also eyes on me.
Welcome back, my lord.
Close the door, Robin. Do I seem old to you? Spare me, you are old only in years.
You do not seem old to me.
You have every appearance of sincerity.
What do I have to do to show you that I'm serious?
What do you think you have to do? You may proceed. Oh. I've promised you much, Robin, and you shall have...
What shall I have?
The tax on sweet wines. 10% of every barrel sold is yours. It's worth a fortune. You shall be rich, Robin, and you will not need to go to war. Dinner.
Yes. While I was away, I thought of you each day. And now I'm home. I seek to prove my worth again.
Oh, my ladies love to look at you.
Oh, well, I do not charge for the spectacle.
Blue eyes. Why so serious?
I think a deal upon affairs of state, Ma'am. And if I had some office, why?
And what office might that be, Robin?
Seat upon the council.
Your Majesty.
What now, Dr. Lopez? We were expecting dinner.
I bring your syrup, Ma'am. As always. Your Majesty is well?
Was it not your task to tell me whether I am or no? We purpose to outlive our doctor, Lopez.
Yes, ma'am.
Matters of state require the drudgery of being both honest and accommodating. Are you accommodating, Robin?
I can be. I have as good a wit as either of the Cecils. I could serve you.
Oh, you shall have your seat on the council.
Oh, yes.
What a boy.
I will make you proud.
The Earl of Essex has his seat on the council.
Council? She can refuse him nothing.
If, as I think, he has an interest in my daughter, it may be that Her Majesty will tire of him.
I mean no disrespect, Francis, but why should the Earl of Essex even consider marrying your daughter when he thinks he may be married to the Queen of England?
The Queen will never marry him. Not even the Earl would dream of such a thing. Let one subject raise himself up so, and there would be blood, gentlemen, blood as we've not seen in 40 years.
You ask us why we must ask you once again for money. Like any housewife to her husband, I'm loath to beg. But we do need subsidy. And what is it for? It is not that we plan for war. It is the fighting of wars long gone, and the failure of the harvests that eat away at England. Not the war will ever go away, gentlemen. Nor will the Spanish.
And will the Crown's demand for money ever go away, ma'am?
Time is the enemy of power. And this our kingdom, aged but unaging in its glory, wears out the fortune and the strength of we who serve it. And when the weight of care oppresses us, we
look to the Queen. Guard! Ladies! Stand aside! Stand aside!
Now, stand back, give us some air. Leave it to the ladies. Ladies. There we are.
Take us through to the Privy Chamber. On arms, close the doors. Dr. Lopez!
What do you say to my breath now, Doctor? Is it as sweet as the Azores?
Sweeter, ma'am.
Can't imagine the cause. I feel quite well. My legs still seem to work. I shall die at a time of my own choosing, Doctor, and not before.
There are those who would choose it for you, madam.
Who are they?
Is poison suspected? The Spanish?
We cannot say with certainty.
Francis Bacon, my lord. I have the misfortune to be Lord Burleigh's nephew.
That's a misfortune.
Well, he offers me no employment.
Well, this is the place to look for employment, for the Queen is here.
Indeed.
No.
But does she trust those she should? Or does she only listen to my uncle?
That's true enough, Sir Francis. I sit on the council and no one listens to a word I say.
Your uncle fawns well, does he not?
The rising unto place is laborious. But by indignities, men come to dignities.
Oh, he flatters her as well, Sir Francis.
Compliments do not seem to advance my career any faster than yours, my lord. I wrote the Queen a poem complimenting her upon her breasts. In Latin. Still I'm without a position.
We are ignored. In times like this, with talk of plots.
Suspicions like bats, they ever fly by twilight. I have intelligences working for me now. Not quite the number as in Walsingham's service, but they tell me things. Things that could make you grow in Her Majesty's esteem. They tell me who has plotted on her life.
Let us proceed to the question of the Attorney Generalship. While I hesitate to lay my recommendations before Your Majesty, I feel this is the right time.
Your Majesty, I have uncovered a conspiracy here at home against your person. This morning, I have arrested your physician, Dr. Lopez.
What?
Your Majesty, I'm afraid it is beyond question that this man is a traitor in the pay of Spain.
I am an innocent man.
What in God's name is this foolishness?
No foolishness, sir. The proof is in these papers. Signed confessions from the doctor's associates that bear witness to the truth that your sudden illness here at the court but 2 weeks ago was no accident. It was an attempt to poison you.
Your Majesty, this is some game of his lordship.
Dr. Lopez is a loyal servant, both to you and to the crown.
Your Majesty, I beg you.
You rash youth!
Do but consider this evidence.
Your Majesty, this is absurd.
Whom am I to believe? His confessions seem real enough. His lordship has made earnest of his convictions.
Yes, Your Majesty, but what other proof is there?
Well, what further proof is needed, ma'am?
Your Majesty, this is a very serious business, and I must object.
Shall we have no more of this feuding? How may I act when all present me with their partial arguments? We are resolved. His lordship acts out of feelings for our safety. Take him away.
Your Majesty, I am your most loyal servant. I am your most loyal servant.
I am loyal subject. Victim of plots and conspiracies by those high in government. I am a Christian.
If he's a Christian, I'm an old Jew, and this is my gabardine.
Is the invention of the Earl of Essex and his friends. He has accused me for his own profit and his
Southampton says we must have something for Francis.
Oh, your lordship is too kind.
A rare triumph for Essex's boys. Your Majesty smiles upon me again.
I shall demand something. Warden of the slash doublet and ruff with extraordinary hose.
It's for Francis, Southampton. Master of the Cinque Ports, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster.
Keeper of Her Majesty's page boys.
Well, Robin, you do look handsome this morning. Oh.
Your Majesty, I mean to impress everyone with my dignity of dress.
Bacon, people who compliment me on my breasts, even in Latin, run the risk of being thought impertinent. We understand he's fond of the company of pretty youths. No wonder he's the member for Middlesex.
Now I say, sirs, that there can be no possibility of peace with Spain. They themselves admit there can be no faith with heretics.
You breathe war, slaughter, and blood.
The bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half that day.
Oh, in God's name, leave the boy alone. Has he offended so much, gentlemen? At least our new recruit speaks his mind.
I thank you for your support, ma'am.
I crave Your Majesty's pardon. It may be we have been disturbed by new evidence which has come to light in relation to Dr. Lopez.
It seems, ma'am, the Earl's confessions were extracted under torture.
What of it?
On the rack, my lord, men may speak anything. Our evidence suggests the only clear proof of the doctor's guilt are those most tainted confessions.
Is this true?
Yes, ma'am, I racked his associates. And they confessed in detail to the doctor's plan.
Leave us. Leave us now!
As your Majesty pleases.
The Earl of Essex will remain.
I have offended you.
This was a man's life. Are we playing at cards here or making judgments that affect the nation?
I sought only to serve you, ma'am.
You act without thinking. That is not service. We will make restitution to his widow. You make her.
If thought inhibit action, then I'll not think again. I cannot deny it. For I would act for you and you alone. But if you were in danger, I would be there. And if some politician should talk against you, then I will be there to be your champion. And if I have offended you, then I beg forgiveness. For without that, I am nothing but...
No. Enough. You are forgiven.
May I raise the question of the Attorney Generalship?
Is that not a question for the Council, Your Lordship?
I would like to suggest Francis Bacon.
Why would you suppose I would accede to such a request? Oh, what am I to do with you? What am I to do with you?
Your Majesty plays with great sweetness.
Do you bring me music, Pygmy?
Would that it were, ma'am. It is a pamphlet, ma'am. It seems to suggest the Earl of Essex should be your successor. It is rather well written.
Damn your insolence, sir! Fine paper, bound carefully.
The person who printed it must be wealthy, ma'am.
Send for the Earl of Essex.
If I may
You
say...
have no liking for him, Pygmy, that's obvious.
I have a high regard for his good qualities, even though those may not always be as much in evidence as they should be.
Go on, Pygmy.
It may be that Your Majesty's understandable fondness for his enthusiasm and courage for your cause creates a climate in the Council which does not always...
I pet him too much. Well, he is a pretty boy.
I'm sure he's unaware of this foolishness.
Madam, I'm distressed to learn from Robert Cecil that you might think I was the author of that vile pamphlet.
You harbor no ambitions in that direction.
If I did, would I be so foolish as to commit them to paper?
Oh, you're fool enough for anything, Robin. But perhaps not this. But you must understand there is speculation about you and I, gossip. Jealousy and faction even in the council, and it may be that my favor to you is the cause of it. Never forget that government is my sacred trust, Robin.
You know I would never...
And yet my heart still rises in me when I walk into a room and you are there. Oh, and these poor feelings clamor to be heard.
I hear them, Beth.
Yeah, well, I never let them see it. But I do grow old. As do those who are long in service to me. Oh, come here. Oh.
Madam.
Sir Francis?
It is a matter of urgency, madam.
You'd best leave us, Robin.
It might be better if his lordship stayed, since it concerns him.
Oh, how so?
My daughter Frances is with child by the Earl of Essex, and I would seek to know his intentions.
She's with...
You traitorous villain, you! You villain! You villain! You villain!
An apology, madam.
Indeed. He's in mourning for the loss of our favor. And as might be expected, the apology is on a far grander scale than the offense. Does he not?
None of us can escape it, madam.
Francis, we hear you are not well.
To tell you truthfully, madam, it is not thought that I shall live out the year.
This cannot be.
I'm afraid it can, Your Majesty. We must look to what comes after. King James of Scotland? Is that to be discussed?
I fear we have worn you out.
I have laid down my life for the Protestant cause, madam, and I have done it gladly.
Couple. Oh, why such long faces?
We did not seek
to be happy, Mom.
Happy. Her father has asked you your intentions. Well, I will tell you your intentions, sir. You shall marry her, and you will be happy. Well, we must all marry, Robin, or so I'm told. But such a thing was not in prospect where you and I were concerned, was it?
The love I felt for your Majesty was...
But a marriage was never in question. What, did you think to be king ring, Robin? Did you?
I sought your love.
Oh. All seek attendance on the Queen. She has no shortage of suitors and little inclination to play the housewife. So what could be more satisfactory than this arrangement? And you, Francis? Would you have your husband have the sovereign's love?
"'Tis my dearest wish, Your Majesty."
You may leave us, Francis. Do you have no words, sir? No. You have no need of words.
Your Majesty knows the secrets of my heart.
I'm damned if I do, sir. But it seems you must be married. Oh, pretty, pretty boy. We've heard that some persons at court may have been writing letters to...
King James of Scotland, ma'am.
Why, we must have been listening at the same door. Of course, the mere idea of that boy succeeding to my throne is absurd, but if some fool should take it upon himself to make the idea public, then we shall have any number of other fools keen to implement it as soon as possible. Out with the old woman and bring on the dribbling idiot.
Perhaps both descriptions are a little harsh, ma'am.
We grow less tolerant, Pygmy. We're alone too much. Walsingham died.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course, I never cared much for the man, but...
That, ma'am?
For the moment, you and your father can fulfill his responsibilities.
I'm happy to relieve Your Majesty of some of this great burden of government business.
They say your marriage is a happy one.
I am blessed in my wife, ma'am. She sees past.
Then there's hope for the world still. Who is it?
Your Majesty?
Who's been writing these letters?
I would not like to...
Accuse anyone of treason? Some nobleman with dreams of greatness?
I'm a great admirer of the English aristocracy, ma'am, but some of them seek to fly so high. Like Icarus, they may approach the sun of Your Majesty's favor too closely and burn their wings.
Hard to believe that that creature in the hat is the King of Scotland. No one must hear of this, Master Secretary. Do you understand?
We understand each other very well, ma'am.
My only wish, apart from to beg of you your kindness as always and to ask for an increase in the pension which you have so kindly allotted...
Nope.
...is to beg you for some clear statement as to my surely undoubted right to succeed you on the English throne.
Undoubted. Undoubted.
Your letter assures me you will not be prejudicial to my cause.
I have come to instruct you to be less pleasant to your Catholic nobility and to ensure you do not make overtures to any nobles of our court.
Overtures, ma'am? What overtures? I have little knowledge of the English court.
Well, then you'll have to acquire some if you dream of ruling over it.
It ill becomes me to strive with a lady.
The fame of our nobility has reached even as far as Scotland, I imagine.
Our poor country is so far from the bright lights. We go to bed early and have little informed conversation.
Not even the Earl of Essex is talked of?
I have heard his name, of course. I have been told he is a very handsome lad. I've heard many tales of the handsome lads of London.
Your Majesty.
Here is a messenger from the very place. You will excuse me.
Tell me, how is it to be ruled by a woman, my lord?
I like it well, Your Majesty.
She grows old.
As do we all.
And the Earl of Essex.
Is ever kind to me, Your Majesty?
And I am kind. I shall have handsome young men around me. And we shall use women as dogs do bitches. For our pleasure and their profit. I'm sure she called that fellow over so that she can watch us at her leisure. Carefully now.
On my life, ma'am, I swear I have written no letters to King James of Scotland.
So you never think of the succession?
Why do you no longer trust me, Bess? Who is it that has come between us?
Oh, only the rest of the world. Poor foolish boy.
If I ever talked of the succession, God forbid that a day should come when England no longer has you to guide them. Then I did it to your face. Unlike some others.
At the end, Leicester and I were friends. I would hold you close to me in friendship.
When love is changed to kindliness, then I'm none of it.
If you seek a life in politics, Robin, you'll have to learn to be a politician. The same name, but not the same.
I love the Earl of Leicester well.
And like him, you love to go to war, and since you love to fight my quarrels for me, we offer you command of the army. The Spanish have attacked Calais, and we intend to respond by taking Cadiz.
Bess.
Oh, what a boy it is still. What a boy.
The greatest command of his lordship's career, ma'am.
Indeed.
You have no doubts?
He'll join the fleet and sail for Cadiz tomorrow. Let us pray Philip's new armada is ill prepared.
God bless Her Majesty, and damnation to the King of Spain! God save the Queen!
I think this is probably the end of the peace negotiations, Your Majesty.
Let us fervently hope for the success of his lordship.
I can't believe you actually mean that, Pigby.
I think what the boy means is...
Oh, I never know what the boy means. I never know what any of you mean. But I've not ruled England these many years to be taken for more of a fool than I am. All's faction now in England. And you wish for nothing but the failure of our friends. Well, I think we've waved enough. Let us go in.
We declare today a public holiday on account of the great victory won over the Spanish at Cadiz by His Grace, the Earl of Essex. If ever a man desired to see an image of hell, it has been said, this is the Battle of Cadiz, most lively figured, and our own Earl of Essex fought most valiantly. The Earls carried
sermon is not Her Majesty's taste.
I think she has little patience for compliments not directed at her. You see? I'm in danger of outshining the Queen's Majesty.
Oh, my lord, I would beg you to be careful.
One would think the Earl sacked Cadiz on his own, ma'am. He came, he killed, he returned home to celebrate.
His lordship wants war, but wars must be paid for, and so our people suffer.
Now there is bad news from Ireland, ma'am.
Catholic country on our doorstep. We shall have war there next. Speak Irish, Pygmy?
No, Your Majesty.
No, no one does. Would you like to be Lord Deputy of Ireland?
No, Your Majesty.
No. Maybe we could send the Earl of Essex. Your lordship must dine with us tonight.
If the people will let me best, my person's not my own.
Come, my lord, the people need you.
The Archbishop ordered a day of celebrations for my victory across the entire kingdom. Why did you restrict me to London, Bess? The love that people have for me is so strong.
You have not kissed me yet.
I did not presume.
Oh, presume. Presume. There. Does that surprise you, my lord? That an old woman should have such lusts of the flesh?
You're not old, Bess.
Maybe not, maybe not.
Know how I still feel for you.
Perhaps I do. Yes. Yes, of course I do. It's just that well, I lack the assurance of youth. I question everything. And how is married life? You should take it seriously. It is a very sweet and serious thing to be married.
Oh. Is that why you've never undertaken it, ma'am?
You surprise me, my lord. I never took you for one who expected women to be consistent in their attitudes. I mean, what did you expect? For me to fall upon your neck in gratitude? For £50,000 lost and no hope of return? The jewels you brought back lost or stolen or embezzled?
I wish.
You wish, you wish, you wish. Do you wish to be Lord Deputy of Ireland, Robin?
I hardly know how to respond, ma'am.
That's obvious. Nobody wishes to be Lord Deputy of Ireland. It's very curious how time brings in changes. Once upon a time, we'd walk in those gardens down there and pay each other compliments, say the sweetest things. And now...
What?
Now all I can talk about is the war in Ireland, and all you can talk about is yourself. I think what you should do now, Robin, is leave.
Yes, ma'am. Of course.
So, who is it to be? Who is to undertake the governance of the Irish? Since the Irish do not seem to want to do so. I'm told the climate is mild enough and there are people who've spoken well of the whiskey. Do not be so bashful, gentlemen. They may not break out into open rebellion. They may do it quietly without informing us. Doesn't always rain there. They're not savages. Well, not all of them, anyhow. Why are you all studying the table so closely?
In my view, Mum...
Yes, my lord.
Lord Burleigh's son would make an admirable ruler of that country.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed, ma'am. Yes, his great powers of statesmanship, his eloquence, and his application would all...
Oh, you're pleased to joke, Robin.
No, ma'am, actually, I'm doing no such thing.
I think you are.
I think that I am not.
Spotted foolish child! I will not suffer one more day of your insolence!
Take your hands off me! I would not endure an insult of that nature from any man, and not a woman should think she could do so.
You are speaking to the Queen of England.
I tell you, I would not have suffered it from your father's hands.
Have you any idea what you're doing?
Yes, I have a very good idea, old man.
You dare to question my authority?
Cannot princes err? Cannot subjects receive wrong? Is an earthly power or authority infinite? Pardon me, madam, but I can never subscribe myself to those principles.
Then it is hard to know why you remain at court, sir. Well, gentlemen, I think we have found the right man for Ireland.
He would certainly blend in well, ma'am.
When deprived of our favor for long enough, he will soon come to heel. My dogs wear my collars, sirs, and let no one at this table ever forget that fact. With the exception of Lord Burleigh, who is under strict orders to get better. You're not well, old friend. Your poor hands, worn out with writing.
Writing and gout, madam. My closest friends.
Your brother is much affected, as are we all. This was no common funeral. The whole world mourns your father. I see the Earl of Essex has finally made an appearance. What a deal my silence can do.
He was my father's ward, Your Majesty. We grew up together.
Oh, yes, of course. What kind of a boy was he?
So graceful, quick at sports, loved by all.
And cruel to you.
As only boys will be, when there were none to see. I was his pastime.
Turn around so I may see your face. Tears, Robin. Tears. I wonder for whom you shed them.
I know how you loved Lord Burleigh, and when I was his ward, he was ever kind to me.
That was a long time ago, Robin.
I want to serve you.
But you want to do glorious things in my service. Well, I can offer you that. I can offer you great glory, Robin. There is open rebellion in Ireland, and along with the governorship,
I can offer you a great army to bring the Irish to heel.
Oh. Your Majesty shows great faith in me.
It is impossible to govern unless we trust those whom we rule. See, there are those who tell me not to trust you. And I know that one day you may come within a hair's breadth of betraying me.
Majesty, Bess, I beg you.
You will come as close to treachery as a snake to the ground. But I also know that you will never betray your country, since your country is none other than this poor self of mine. And you have loved me as men will love women, blindly without counting the cost, not thinking what they do. So you're mine, poor boy. You're all mine. Rise. You may go to Ireland on our behalf. I ever loved you, Robin. Take this ring as a testament to it. Thank you, gentlemen. Secretary? Is there no news from Ireland?
But little, Mum. The Earl is there near 6 months.
Yes, we know that, and?
He has upwards of 16,000 men.
Yes.
He has...
What?
He has knighted many of his followers.
Oh, God in heaven.
And yet, he seems unwilling to engage the Earl of Tyrone, Mum.
What does he think to do? Why does he not move into Ulster now, and we have so commanded him? We have heard that there is sickness amongst his soldiers, and we do fear for him, but why does he not shake and sway the branches of resistance now?
We think the Earl of Tyrone may expect a force from Spain, Your Majesty.
What are his intentions? What's his army for, pygmy? Is he? I ask this with fear in my heart. Is he still loyal to us?
There is no way of knowing, Mum.
Let me pass! Where's the Queen? Where's the Queen? Bess? Bess? Bess?
Robin? Well, what's the matter? Why?
I rode all night to be here. They would not let me pass.
What's happened? Is anyone with you?
You were angry with me,
No,
Mum.
no one's angry with you.
Tyrone is no fool, Mum. My men rode after him, but they would not fight. They came at night and they killed men in their sleep.
You're with me now. You're with me. Sit.
I made a truce, Mum. I made a truce with the Earl of Tyrone.
Oh, you poor boy. Well, you must tell me everything. But first you must rest.
How can I rest when you are the victim of false counsel? Bess, Cecil works against me. I swear it, Bess, and you listen to him. He works against us. He writes to King James of Scotland. I have it on good authority, securing himself with your successor.
Don't think about the secretary. Don't think about that little pygmy.
You understand?
Yes.
You understand? I
Yes,
had no
I
choice.
Understand. Shh. You must sleep. Sleep and then we'll talk.
Do you love me?
Dorothy, see to the Earl.
Yes, Your Majesty. Let me help you with these, sir. Your Majesty, do you want...
Ma'am.
The Earl has deserted his command. He seeks our approval. He's concluded some sort of a truce with Tyrone on his own initiative. How many men has he?
Only a handful.
So you're sure the army is still in Ireland?
As far as I know, ma'am.
That he should do this to me, by whom he had so many favors. When he is awake and dressed, call him to our presence.
May I withdraw when he comes to you, ma'am, with your permission?
No, you do not have my permission. You can stay and watch your little friend. It's time to find out who is with us and who is against us. Cecil.
Thank you again, my dear.
Whispering to your mistress, pygmy? Huh? The world will think you're sharing secrets. I did not expect so many to be present at our meeting, Bess.
Sometimes it is advisable to have witnesses to conversations, my lord.
Why so cold?
The charges against the Earl of Essex are as follows. That he has been contemptuously disobedient to Her Majesty's instructions by returning to England. That on several...
Stay a moment, sir. Is this a trial? Have I done something to offend Your Majesty?
You have come unannounced into my chamber. You've returned from your commission with no victories gained and no peace imposed upon the territories in Ireland. You have had private conversation with the notorious traitor Tyrone, whose submission or death are the only things we require of him. You have made free with our person. You have thought to touch the scepter of a prince, which is a thing not commendable in you.
I have come here only seeking your help and support in return for the great services I have offered you.
Take him under guard to Essex House. The Earl is to be confined there until our pleasure dictates otherwise.
Bess, you said that you love me!
I ever loved you well, and ever did you service, but I no longer recognize the thing I loved. Love alters when it alteration finds.
You said you could never...
I said more than I should, perhaps. The government of the tongue is not a science you ever learned well, my lord.
I'm amazed to see you in this company, Francis.
The way to great office is by a winding stair.
Get him out of my sight!
And now, what are we to do with the Earl of Essex, eh? What in heaven's name are we to do with him now? Is the army loyal to us?
Mountjoy, the Earl's man, has the army, even if he's still in Ireland. But the Earl still has powerful friends here.
Unfortunately for him, they no longer include you and me, eh, Pygmy?
So, we may proceed to trial?
And for the moment, we do nothing. We wait. We must be seen to treat him well. Relax the guard on him.
How loyal is he?
Very well.
Odi et amo. Quare id facium portasse requiris. Nescio, sid fieri sentio, et excrucio. Oh, my dear Francis. Are you in mourning for your husband's reputation?
I wear your colours, Mom.
You were always a good girl, Francis.
As I love him, Your Majesty, I wish him to love you.
So, How does the Earl?
Not well, Your Majesty.
Oh, we are sorry to hear that.
I do believe that, Ma'am.
He should have company.
He should.
Tell me, has he heard from Mountjoy from Ireland?
Letters passed between them, but my lord has not heard from Ireland of late.
Oh, that's a shame. But perhaps it's not good for him to be in touch with those with military responsibilities.
I am sure he means to be a loyal servant to Your Majesty.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. Has he heard from King James of late, from Scotland? You can tell me, Francis. We know he had dealings with him from before. If we are to prevent him being a danger to himself, we must know these things. You know, I speak out of love for him, Francis. The Earl carries a black bag around his neck. He never takes it off. I believe they are letters from Scotland. Scotland! Letters from Scotland, I knew it! Mountjoy will not move the Irish army to assist him. So he waits for the King of Scotland. Well, he's going to wait a long time for that young man.
What's Your Majesty's wishes?
To force him into action. Since he is not ready, unreadiness is all. He's fool enough. Send someone to the Earl of Essex. Tell him we require him at council.
Would you wish me to go, Mum?
No. No, pick me. Send Sir Francis Bacon. He's a persuasive enough fellow. Keep Lady Essex here until it's all over.
Mum.
Well, little Bacon. And what, I wonder, are you about?
Her Majesty requires your presence at the council.
I'm sure to be there, Sir Francis, but at the moment I am all of a sweat after playing tennis.
The court is no place for a sweat, you know.
Oh. She requires it at once, my lord. And her conditions...
Her conditions? Her conditions are as crooked as her carcass. I command you all to put down your weapons and to depart. Show your allegiance to the Queen.
But we will not do so.
Take him to the hall and keep him there until he returns. Treason, my lord! Rebellion! The Queen has had her mind poisoned by evil counselors, my lords. Robert Cecil will sell us to Spain, so let's die before we let him. The court!
Or was not Lucifer cast out for just that sin?
To the court!
The wicked
To the Queen! For the Queen! There is a plot laid for my life.
Sir Robert Cecil is a traitor to this country. Who will join us to get rid of him? He promises the sheriff of the city, my lord. I do not see him.
No. He will come out for us.
Soon, I hope. We must hang together or we shall hang separately, for the people are not with us.
To the court! There is a plot laid for my life!
Your Majesty.
There's a noise below. There's some fray in Fleet Street.
Mum. Mum, there is great danger.
You have no confidence in your queen, Pigman.
do not seek to fight. All we seek is the removal of certain councillors of yours who have worked against those of us who really love you. Justice!
You do not come to seek justice. You come to decide which of us shall rule this kingdom, you or I. And I tell you, Essex, it is I who rule.
Do your work, Sir Thomas.
Forward! Forward!
Will you barricade those doors? Where are the hostages? This seems to relate no, my lord. Will you burn these letters in King James? No, just burn them now. Burn everything!
Which way now, my lord? All is lost. We are dead men.
What of the mad, ungrateful wretch?
He's captured, Mom.
I swear before God that I bear a true heart to Her Majesty. I was in fear of my life from my enemies.
My lord, you remind me of the Athenian who cut himself and then cried murder. Was it to defend yourself that you imprisoned me and those whom the Queen sent to you to call you to your senses?
Oh, Sir Francis, whom I ever served well and to whom I gave my love freely. Have you served your Queen so faithfully? Have you not lied and pretended friendship to me and deceived her as to your loyalty?
I loved you, my lord. As long as you continued a dutiful subject, and I have spent more hours to make you a good subject to Her Majesty than ever I did about my own business.
Which has of late been to crawl upon your hands and knees to Robert Cecil. And Robert Cecil is in the pay of Spain.
My Lord of Essex, the difference between you and me is great. For wit, I give you the preeminence. You have it abundantly.
I thank you. Have you come to apologize?
For nobility also, I give you place. I am not noble. though a gentleman. I am no swordsman, but I have innocence, conscience, truth and honesty to defend me. You have a wolf's head in a sheep's clothing, sir.
Oh, Master Secretary, I thank God for my humiliation that you are come here in the rough of all your bravery to make your oration against me today.
Who says I am in the pay of Spain? Name your authority. Or is this some new fantasy of yours?
Why, that is easy answered. He stands next to me. The Earl of Southampton told me that he knew it for a fact.
I'm sorry for it, my lord, but
But did not you say that?
I did not, my lord. And you know it is not so. I never said that the secretary was in the pay of Spain.
Then I am damned, my lord. And you with me.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
You have been pronounced guilty of treason. And you will suffer the punishment of traitors, which is death.
No! No, I swear upon mine honor, I never meant any harm to Her Majesty. And if I have been led astray, then I humbly beg your pardon, but I am no traitor, sirs. My lord, you know I ever loved the Queen, and I told you so.
So be it, my lord. While I would not have it thought that I despised the Queen's clemency, I would not make any cringing submission to obtain it.
There's also the question of monopolies, ma'am. Just as some thought the Earl of Essex abused his privilege of the ownership of the tax of sweet wines, so now some of the Parliament see the profits of many in the hands of too few. And... Your Majesty?
The Queen cannot be safe while I live. And I do humbly ask her pardon. I give her thanks that she has moderated the terrible sentence of treason. But I do solemnly swear that the 4 quarters of my body are hers. Are always hers. And I do yield them up to her with a glad heart. I ask forgiveness of my sins, which are numbered as the hairs on my head. Most especially this last, this great and infectious sin of mine, rebellion against her whom I swear I did always love with all my heart. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will. The executioners strike home.
Put his lapdog, little Southampton, in the tower. No more blood. Please, God, no more blood. I will spare the others where I can. Send me their names.
Yes, Your Majesty.
You knew what it was to love him too, I think.
I think I did, Your Majesty.
Well, you may go, little pygmy. I mean no harm by the name. It's but my humor.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Her conditions were as crooked as her carcass. Well, well, well. You may leave us now.
He had sent you this ring and these verses.
My prime of youth is but a frost of cares. My feast of joy is but a dish of pain. My cup of corn is but a field of tares, and all my good is but vain hope of gain. The day is gone, and yet I saw no sun. And now I live, and now my life is done.
Why so many glum faces? Are my people out of love with me?
Money is all, Mom. Many in the House speak against the monopolies you grant the traders. They say only a few are favored.
Taxes were granted to the Earl of Essex, which should not have been granted. The enemy of monarchs is the overmighty subject. If this poor old wife before you has offended by granting profits to the few and not to the general number, then let us have an end to that. Let us be one. I do assure you there is no prince who better loves his subjects, nor whose love can countervail our own. There is no jewel, be it of never so rich a price, which I set above this jewel. I mean your loves. For I esteem it more than any treasure or riches. For that we know how to prize, but love and thanks we count invaluable. And though God hath raised me high, yet this I count the glory of my crown, that I have reigned with your loves.
Well?
The doctors can find no cause of it, sir.
Is Your Majesty in pain? Is the sickness in your side, or...?
I'm not so sick as some would have me. Bring me a mirror. Bring me a mirror. There was a man once.
Does Your Majesty mean the Earl of Essex? Does Your Majesty mean the Earl of Leicester?
The hardest thing to govern is the heart. Raise me up.
Your Majesty must rest. Your Majesty, please consider.
Leave me. Go.
She has stood like that about 15 hours now, sir. Never once talking.
How long since she has eaten?
It is 3 weeks since she has eaten.
Go to, go to. Your Majesty?
Well, you are to tell me to take to my bed. If you saw such things in your bed as I see in mine, you would not go there.
Mom, you must.
Must.
Out, out.
That man, whoever he was, Kashmir priest girl, who minded to die.